if you ran the Niners, I mean, look at it this way. Look at these guys like a hand of cards. You got 4 quarterbacks. How you want to play your hand?
If I have 4 quarterbacks next year, what did Brock do this year?
You got these 4 quarterbacks right now.
Okay.
And you can play your hand any way you want.
Right.
You can cut one, trade one, start one, bench one. You can do whatever you want. How are you playing your hand of cards? You go first. I'll tell you how I'm playing my hand.
I'm putting Brock on the pup. I'm starting Trey. I'm keeping Brandon Allen, and I'm cutting Sam.
You're cutting Sam. You're not trading him?
No, I'm cutting Sam.
What if somebody comes and will offer you something? You trade him.
I mean, I'll take a ham sandwich in a
okay.
You know what I'm saying?
So you're cutting or trading Sam. So you're putting Brock in the pup for a month. You're giving September to Trey as a starter. You're making Brandon Allen the backup, and you're trading or cutting Darnold.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, because Brandon Allen sat behind Joe Burrow. Brandon Allen's really a number 2.
Yeah. This is how I'm playing my hand. And this is assuming health for everybody. I'm assuming everybody's healthy. I'm starting Brock. I'm Trey's my backup.
Okay.
I'm trading Darnold.
Okay.
And I'm putting Brandon Allen as my third. But then beyond this year, because this is also part of my hand of cards.
You cheated, Larry. You didn't tell me I could go beyond this year.
Well, no. I mean, okay, but I mean, this would be my plan. All right. I'm convinced. I mean, I've already stated it. You know where I'm going with this. I believe in Trey long term. I don't know if I believe in Trey short term. In fact, Can I
ask you a question?
I'm skeptical short term, but I believe in him long term. Yeah.
Take Trey's name out and put Brock in. Do you believe in Brock long term?
Yes.
Okay.
I do.
Okay.
I believe in Brock short term and long term. I think Brandon Allen is a backup, strictly a backup in the NFL. I think Sam Darnold is kind of a fool's gold, like one of those guys who looks like a prospect.
Looks like Tarzan, plays like Jane.
Like if they had a movie about football, Sam Darnold would be the quarterback.
He would be the perfect quarterback if they had a movie about it.
Seriously,
right?
He's central casting, but it just at the end of the day, it just doesn't happen. Yeah, he's the guy, but it just doesn't happen. Too many turnovers. I don't believe in him. There's something wrong there. There's something off. I got to see. He's the guy that I got to see succeed before I believe it. I will not believe it until I see it. But what I want to do with Trey is I'll go to Trey at the end of the year, especially if Brock stays healthy all year.
Okay.
And Trey doesn't really play, except let's say in mop up and some wins or maybe whatever. He plays a little bit, but he basically doesn't play. He gets no starts all year. At the end of the year, I go to Trey and I say, you know what? I don't want to pay you that 5th-year option. I don't want to pay you $17 million.
Right.
Do you want to be here? And he's always maintained that he wants to be a Niner. I think his dog might be named 49er.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what if you named Hannibal 49er?
I mean,
right?
It ain't hard to name him Falcon or Vikings.
Yeah,
that shit don't matter, Larry.
No, but if I'd go to Trey,
would be Roger Goodell after the time I'm done with him. I don't care about.
I'd give Trey the option. I'd go to Trey and I'd say, hey, look, I believe in your future, and if you believe in my belief in your future, let's work out a deal. Get you signed to a multi-year deal. And let's keep it going. Stay here. Your time will come when your time comes, and maybe that will be.
Pause right there, Larry.
Okay.
Pause right there.
See what he says.
What's Trey's?
Why would he do it?
What's his initiative to do that? Why would he do that? Why?
Well, here's the only reason I would say he would do that. Because if nobody's wanting him as a starter right now, and if since nobody's traded for him, and we believe, at least I believe, that the Niners have made him available, or at least are listening to calls.
Mm-hmm.
I think that this is the place you want to be. This is the organization. This is the play caller. These are the weapons. This is the team. This is the only team he's ever known. And why would you, if you can't start, and you were going to be the number 2, wouldn't you rather be the number 2 here behind Brock Purdy than be the number who's a good guy and you guys have a good relationship. In an offense that you've taken a couple of years to learn. Now you've, instead of learning a new offense, you've got the same offense. You've got premier weapons. You know, I don't think the Bay Area is the worst place to live. And you know what? I'd rather be the backup in San Francisco than the backup in fill in the blanks.
All right. So
now if he wants to start somewhere right away and he had that opportunity, maybe that changes his equation. But I'd at least go to him, coach, and say, Trey, what do you want? What would you like to do? Right now, this is your situation. Brock's the starter. You're the backup. And you're developing by not playing as much as you can here. Obviously, you would develop better if you played somewhere, but there's no starting job available for you right now. What do you want to do? I'm willing to rip up the $17 million, give you a new contract that's more team friendly.
So hard.
And you know, I don't want you at 17 million as my backup. But at the same time, I don't want to quit on you either. I believe that you're going to get there long term. And I would say the same thing to Trey that I'm saying right now on this live stream. Look at how many quarterbacks made the Hall of Fame who didn't really get rolling until they were 26, 27, 28. That could be you. The quarterbacks typically play. I mean, we saw Brady play until his mid-40s. A lot of quarterbacks can play until they're 40. So who cares? It's going to be a footnote in your career. If Trey Lance fulfills his potential in 2 years, he's going to have a decade or more of a prime in the NFL. And nobody's going to know or remember the first few years and how it started slow. How many times do people, when they talk about Aaron Rodgers, say, what did he do in his first 3 years? What did he do in his first 4 years? Aaron Rodgers, I think, sat for 4 years, and then his first year as a starter was 6-10. 6-10. He's a Hall of Fame quarterback as sure as I'm sitting here. Nobody talks about those years. Nobody talks about that development. Nobody talks about it. Why? Because the guy's had an entire Hall of Fame career.
Larry,
so it's all about being in a good organization with a good surrounding cast. And isn't that where he is right now? That's how I'd play my hand.
All of that matters when he's on the field. When is he going to get on the field, Larry? All of that is cool. The organization, the locker room, the system, the coaching staff, the familiarity, the cachet, all of it. But it only activates once you get on the field, right? So if we're gonna get Trey to take a pay cut, right? Essentially ripping up his $17 million fifth-year option, then what assurances are we going to be able to give Trey that us paying him less is advantageous to him and not playing him and keeping him as a backup?
Because you're assuming, coach, that somebody else would pay him that $17 million to start. And I don't think they would. I think there's no chance in hell. If nobody wants to trade for Trey at $9 million, no.
Hello?
As he sat for another year. Because that's the scenario. The scenario that I painted was Brock plays all year.
That's where we get in the weeds though, Larry, because that's just the thing. They know he's worth $9 million now, and nobody wants to take $9 million from him now because they've only seen 3.5 games. They're not going to add time on task to what Trey can do before he gets to that fifth-year option, because there might be a team that would take the plunge. There might be a team that say, "Fuck it, we'll do it."
Well, then he's going to want to go. Yeah, he wants to play. Steve Young wanted to play. The quarterbacks want to play.
The Niners know that the difference between somebody being in competition or being at play for that fifth-year option and them having the leverage to tell Trey, hey, we're just going to go ahead and why don't you just give us a hometown discount? Let's forget about this. This isn't the track that you were on. We're on the new track. You're our backup. We're trying to develop you. This is where we are. The only way that the Niners can really have a truthful and fruitful conversation with Trey and that be true is if they know they have not played him enough for the rest of the league to see him. right? So
Right.
even if they get to that sport, even if they get to that point, we gotta act like Trey is represented by savvy businessmen as well, right? Trey's not just some babe in the woods. Trey's gonna be looking at this like, well, cut me then. They cut me, because what's gonna happen in your scenario is Trey will be labeled as a backup, and then that's it. That's it. Because once he gives up once they don't pick up that option, and Trey's a backup quarterback behind Brock, that means that it's going to be time for Brock to get paid too. And once Brock comes up on his deal and Trey's sitting on his backup money deal, you know how it is, man. It's going to be hard for him to break out of that. So for him to take that with the Niners, it's essentially him acquiescing to the Niners and saying, yes, you picked me for 3rd overall. Yes, you spent assets on me. No, I didn't get developed enough. No, I didn't get to my full fruition. And I'm going to take a pay cut because of it and completely take a step back on my career and my brand. And I'm going to do all of this without testing myself against the rest of the 31 teams in the league. That's going to be hard.